Hello. Night number 2. I gotta tell you, I've been kind of on a crafting frenzy today. Oh my goodness, I have painted stuff, I have drilled holes for hangers, I have attached hangers, I have sorted inventory, I have got things together for tonight. Everything I did, it was kind of one of those ADD kind of days where like I would go to get something and I'd be like, ooh, I should do something with that. And so I'd start doing something with that. And then it's like, oh yeah, I gotta go paint that. And so it's just boom, bing, 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 bing. And I really should have gotten a lot of stuff plugged in and out on the floor. So I have a lot to do tomorrow, but that's okay. So I hope you're ready to do some crafting because my project has kind of evolved a little bit, and I've got lots of fun stuff to go with it. Don't see anyone here yet, but as you do join us, be sure and say hello. Well, it's not really us, it's just me tonight, but be sure and say hello. And brain just shut off. Hate when that happens. Be sure and say hello. And if you don't know who I am, if you just stumbled across this, my name is Patty, and my daughter Katie and I own a small vintage home decor fun little shop in Granite Falls, Washington. And we are also building an online community of women, having lots of creative fun together, encouraging one another, creating beautiful homes, all those things that we women do. So we're working on that, and we've just added workshops in the shop here. So that's kind of a whole new avenue for us. So you'll see a lot more of that, I think, going into the new year. But in a nutshell, that's who we are. So I was on here last night, and last week, or maybe a week and a half ago, shared some Christmas ornament ideas. And so we're going to do a little more of that. So I guess we'll get started. Last night, if you didn't see, we created kind of frosting on ornaments and jars, and I did a post earlier today that kind of highlighted a lot of those white snowy things, and I got super inspired by that. And as I was working on things for this project tonight, I was like, ooh, I can add a little snow to that, I can add a little frosting to that. And so I'm super excited. So I pulled that stuff. I almost put it away today, and then I was like, oh no, I might want to use this again. So I brought it back out. I need to move this back. The problem is I have 4,000 little things here, so they're all at my reach. So on that note, I have this little guy. He's just a little vintage skier guy that I was going to use in one of my projects tonight, and he was missing one of his skis. And I just thought, well, oh well, he's going in this thing and he won't be super noticeable. And I found this little baggie of, okay, first of all, I just have to show you these. I found this little baggie. It had like little vintage stuff like, oh, don't break him. Little stuff like this. But it also had these little things. Let me turn it. Where's his face? You have to fully appreciate this. There we go. There we go. Oh my goodness. Have you ever... So it's like kind of like a pipe cleaner that it's on. It's only 2 or 3 inches long. And there's several of them. There's those. And then there's these other ones that are, I don't know, these are just floating heads. Here. Where's their face? There we go. And then there's these little sweet things, but the faces are like, I mean, I know it's a vintage thing, and I know that it was just another era, and that was like cute or something, but they almost look like little fish faces, little fishies. So I'm not really sure what to do with those. Those are just on the back burner. But in the baggie with those, I saw this little thing, and I was like, hey, that looks kind of familiar. And I realized it was his missing ski. And so it's old, and it's plastic, and how are you going to reattach that? And so I got out the hot glue, and at the risk of burning myself, I kind of held it there in place. And so it's kind of on there, but it's got like a little blob of glue. Well, you probably can't really see it, but it is there and it's noticeable. And I don't think it'll be that noticeable in the project I'm using it in, but I thought he's a skier guy, and we just figured out last night how amazing it is to frost everything and make it snowy. And so I thought, what better way to disguise a blob of hot glue on this guy's ski? Come on, don't you love tacky glue? Should use the other glue. Anyway, while the glue is taking its sweet time, I thought, what better way to kind of disguise that? So I'm going to put a little blob there. I think I'm going to put a little blob on his ski, maybe over on his other arm. And I'm going to kind of use a brush to kind of brush it around a little bit. And then put a little bit on his pole too. So then, we were using Epsom salt last night, and we were talking about how for projects like this, it might be fun to mix a little bit of glitter in with it. Not a lot, but just to give it a little more sparkle. And so first I added a little bit of mica snow, and that was a little sparkly. I had a little bit of silver, and then I have this, it's like a prismatic, you can't really see. It's kind of almost a blue. I had a tiny little bit of that. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of this stuff. So it's Epsom salt that I've embellished with glitter, essentially. And I'm just going to load him down. Probably could do with a little less glitter, but I thought it would be fun. And so maybe I'll add a little bit of just the white. So now he's got a little bit of snow on his ski and on his hand there. Kind of help disguise it a little bit. So what we're gonna do tonight is we're making. I had these. I got these. I think I got them out of, I don't know, probably a free pile, to be honest, at a yard sale. 2, 3, maybe 4 years ago. And I've had them tucked away because I thought they're kind of cool because they're the old Gerber baby food jars. And they look kind of worn, and the jars work, or the lids work. And so I thought they would be fun for some sort of little project. And so I've had them tucked away. And I think last year I set them aside and I thought, oh, I want to do this project, and I just ran out of time. And so it got all kind of, some of the things put together and tucked away on a shelf. Move, 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 move. And this year I'm like, we're doing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn these little cuties into little snow globe. Not really a snow globe, because I'm not doing the whole water or the oily water. Have you ever had a snow globe break? What is in that water anyway? It's like oily and just weird. So we're not doing any water. So this is just kind of a faux snow globe. We've got the fake snow in there. We've got a little tree. This one we got a couple little presents and some berries for color. And I put jingle bells on the outside, but I glued them too close to the glass, and they don't want to jingle now. They kind of do, but it's really faint. So we're going to do some of those, and some of them are going to be just a little snow globe like this. And some of them are going to be snow globes that will become ornaments. So I've given some considerable thought how to make them hang. And I thought about wire, and I thought about twine, and you're going to have to do like 40 yards to get it all the way around and get it so it comes up on each side. Like, oh, I don't really like that. And then I thought, well, you could probably just hot glue some twine or yarn or whatever, hot glue it on the underside of the lid, because when you get your thing all put together, I glued it shut just so nothing would fall out. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna glue them for the ones that we want to hang and make as little ornaments. So at least we're gonna try it. Because my theory is it's not going to come loose because it's glued on there. It's going to be glued, the lid's going to be glued shut, and so there's no way that string's coming out. That's my theory. So I have all kinds of little, and you can do this with new baby food jars. You can do this with little jam jars. It's really only limited by what you have to put in it. Well, not limited, but if you have trees this size, you know, they're too tall for a jar like this, but you can do whatever. Any size jar, just get the appropriate scale of stuff to put in it. So I've got some little, like I said, I've got the little vintage. I've got with the little guy, I've also got a little vintage skiing Santa. And then I just picked up, I've got some other little odds and ends of stuff, little trees I had, little doodads, and then I picked up these little miniatures just from the dollar store. But really, I mean, you could use little animals, little, man, I think I inhaled some of that glitter. It's tickling my nose. Little miniatures, little toys, tiny ornaments. There's a lot of those little tiny ones, little like light bulbs and bells and things. So it's really whatever you want it to be. And as well as just little junk around your house too. So I just collected up a bunch of little goodies here, and I hope you're in a crafty mood tonight, and since the night is young, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I've got 8 of these little jars that I want to do. That's my goal tonight, is to get these all busted up. So, not busted up, busted out. So we're gonna do each one a little different. So I think we're gonna take this first jar, and what I'm gonna do is I've got craft glue and I've got hot glue. I think that the hot glue works a little better for getting getting the things in place. I think I'm gonna go with, on this one, I'm gonna go with this little snowman first. And I'm just gonna put, and I wished I had some long tweezers, like medical type, you know, those really long ones. They would be very helpful for this project. It's a little bit challenging. So I'm just kind of giving him a spot, and I'm just gluing him down to the bottom, down in there. Press and hold for, you know, a couple seconds. And then I've got a bunch of different little trees. So it might be kind of nice to have a little tree kind of scaled. Again, you can pick up these, you know, we used to always say after Christmas, get stuff on clearance for next year, but honestly, you're better off just buying it early in the season. The season you're going to do it, because there's the most selection and there's always sales. So I think I'm going to put a little tree kind of over here right next to him, maybe. I almost think I positioned him not quite right, but I think we can make it work. Hi, Diane. You came back. Hi, Elizabeth. So we're making little snow globe-ish, minus the water liquid part. Either just little decorative ones that you can sit, tuck on a little shelf, give as a little gift, or ones that we're going to attach a hanger and you can hang them, make them a little ornament. So I'm just figuring out the little stuff to go inside and putting a blob of hot glue. Now I bent the tree just a little bit because I didn't place the snowman quite. I didn't take into consideration the tree. Oh, man. So I'm gonna need a ton of glue on this because it's way back in there, and good news is you won't see the glue because there'll be lots of snow going back down in here to hide all that. But I gotta kind of place it right where the jar curves so it doesn't really want to stand. So he's kind of right by the, and I could just leave it at that, but I feel like it needs something in front. Maybe well, might be kind of fun. There's this other, that one's kind of too big. Where'd the other little kid go? There's a little kid one here. Oh, I think that's going to be too much. So I think we're just going to put maybe like a little bell, or well, shoot, I'm not seeing anything that excites me. So maybe just a little bell. So again, just, or you can just throw it in there. Elizabeth, I am driving and listening, not watching. Good for you. Sorry for the silence. I was cluttering around there trying to figure out what was going to go in here. So you'll have to watch later if, you know, if it's, again, I would highly recommend if you have any, some of those like long handled pliers. See, this is going to give you a little jingle too. So he's all glued down there. So it's kind of nice to have a snowy floor, and it'll kind of, you know, you fill it up kind of good, but I like to put a little glue down in there as well, and then just take a brush and just to kind of give it so that, because you definitely want to kind of keep the, you want to kind of hide the bases. And like I said, if you get your snow in there deep enough, you're probably going to be okay. But so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the, you can use just the regular, the little snow you can buy. I mixed, if you weren't here at the very beginning, so last night we were talking about mixing, hi Mallory, thanks for joining us. We talked about mixing glitter into the rock salt we were using, and so I played with that a little bit today. And so this is a mix of some rock salt, some mica snow, a little bit of silver glitter, and a little bit of, it's kind of a, I don't know, I would call it like an icy blue. It's really hard to see, the light's horrible. Oh, never mind, I can't show you. It's kind of just, it's a little prismatic. It's called Pretty Prisms. And it's just a really fine crafting glitter. But I just think that it gives it a little more variation. So I completely hid my bell. So that was kind of silly. But the snowman has a nice little drift of snow in there with his little tree. So I probably could have just left the bell out. Live and learn. So I showed you how I to get these to hang, because I didn't want to, because these are vintage Gerber baby food jars, and so I didn't want to destroy them. I thought about drilling a hole or a couple holes, but then I was like, well, I don't really want to. The same reason I don't want to cover. I would, you know, if it was a plain jar, I would do something cute on top. You can, I just didn't want to. So what I came up with was putting hot glue on the inside of the lid and sticking my cord into that hot glue and get it to line up on either side of the lid. And then, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to put anything else in there. Once you know that, then you can run a bead of hot glue just along your threads of your jar, and then if I do this right, hold your string up and keep it so it's, and try to, like, I learned this one the hard way, be aware of where your string is, where when your jar closes tight, that your string's going to hang so that you show off the side of the ornament you want to, not like, you know, weird sideways. Just, I usually think about those things after the fact. So just something to be aware of is where that placement. And so now it's glued on the underside. The lid is glued shut. So I feel like this is really secure because it's got a little more weight for hanging on your tree. So you want to make sure that's not going to give out on you. So you can stop there if you want. Or like on this one, I did a little, you can buy these little, I'm not even sure what they call them. They come in a package and they're just like pieces of, I don't know, They look like tree limbs or something. And so what I did on that one is I just kind of measured it around to where it was going to meet up, and then clipped it. And you could use ribbon, you could use beads if you have like old, last night Diane was talking about vintage jewelry or broken jewelry. If you had like an old strand of beads that's coming apart or whatever, glued on there, it's not going to go anywhere. So again, just doing hold your string up so that doesn't interfere, and I would just do a little section at a time. I tried to do, and I would do it so that it meets, again, just kind of thinking it through, so that the back where you start, your starting point is towards the back of your thing, of your jar. And then just, if you can't see this, give me a holler. It's hard for me to see that you're seeing it okay. I probably should set up my laptop so I can see your comments, but I always forget to look when we do that. And so it's like your comments are hiding, so it's hard for me to see that you're actually seeing. See? So just give me a holler if you want me to hold it differently. But just kind of glue that around until you come to the meeting point. And that's where you really want to make sure you get a good solid connection, and that probably requires at least a 3rd degree burn, because that's the way hot glue works. So that just kind of, see, yeah, this, you really gotta something to kind of hold it tight. And then on the other one, I added just a little piece of twine with a couple bells and some berries. So you could do something like that. Or another little thing I picked up was just, it's little tiny pine cones with some berries. So you could kind of glue that along the side. Or bells or buttons, any kind of little embellishment. I also have some old rusty keys, so that's another fun idea you could hang off of there. I think for this one I am just gonna go with this little thing of pine cone dealy bobs. Kind of like the idea of the bells though, since my bell inside. So again, like last time, I glued it too tight to the jar. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple little bells. And since this already has a little thing on it, I think I'm going to feed this. Comments are oh, can you not, you can't see either because of the comments. I guess that makes sense. They need to think this through so that we can see what the comments are, and there's got to be a way other than having multiple devices. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spiral that around that a little bit so that it hangs by itself, so it will jingle. And then stick. They didn't give you very much room. I can't imagine trying to do this with string. I was trying to made some little wood ornaments little wood, little scraps of wood, and I painted them and put words on them. And so my brilliant idea was to put burlap twine, drill 2 holes and put the, yeah, that was fun. I figured out to wise up and just, I just wrapped tape around the end, and that made it a little better. So they're able to jingle. So then what I'm gonna do, now see, if I had been thinking, I would have probably glued this in there with it, but I didn't. So I'm just going to twist it around the hanger thing, and then that'll kind of hold it there. And then I'm going to, so the bells are hanging down, but I think I'm going to also put a drop of glue behind the pine cone part, just so it's hanging a little more secure up against the glue. Got me. I figure by the end of this season, I'm either going to have very calloused, glue impermeable fingertips, or just won't have fingertips anymore. So there you go. And you could, it would be fun to add a year on it. You could add a little tag hanging off of it. You could make a little thing to put on the bottom, cut a little circle. Use your lid as a template to cut to the size. And then, you know, you could write on the bottom that way. But this would be a fun little gift, ornament exchange gift. Just a little, Miss Diane was saying she makes ornaments for all her coworkers. Well, she's done that for many, many years. So any kind of situation like that where you do glue. So the other thing I did, telling you, I went a little crazy with that whole snow business. So I had these tiny little wood cars and trucks we picked up a long time ago with the intention of doing something with them. So cute. They're just little trucks. And whenever I see cars and trucks, I think of Christmas time, and I picture little trees loaded up on top. And so I got like an assortment. They're driving through a blizzard apparently because their car is covered with snow. But I used the little trees that you can get that I'm putting in there, and they have little bases on them. And that's part of the reason I added the snow, is because it just kind of looked silly having that wood base hanging off the cars. And so I just twisted it until it came out. But then you had this little wire poking out. And so I thought, well, that kind of helps disguise it. And I just kind of bent the tree a little bit. Super easy though. You can get a whole little pack of these guys. Whenever I'm at garage sales and stuff, I always pick up little, usually the really cool ones are, people snaps those up really quick. But sometimes you can find like little dump trucks or little fire trucks. I mean, it's cute on any of them, but these little wood ones, so I've got a whole bunch of these little wood ones, so I'm gonna doll a bunch of those up. And the thing is, you're not limited to baby food jars. You can create these. I have packed up. It's one of my favorite things. I got it a couple years ago, and it was a jar kind of similar to this, and they did it upside down like this, and it's got a bunch of snow in it, and I think it's just got a couple trees. I don't think there's anything else in it. But it's a really unique, really rounded jar. But I thought this jar here we have in the shop, I'm not going to do it because the jar is so inherently cool on its own. This is the third one of these old Crisco jars that have come through our hands. And the first one we sold, the second one I broke, and the third one has been in the shop for a little while. But oh my gosh, look at that lid. Just love it. But I feel like this one would be so amazing because the glass is just a little bit kind of frosted looking already, and then you can see in the side. So I don't know, if somebody doesn't come buy this one, I just may make one anyway out of it, because I mean, you can always take it back out, right? You don't have to keep it that way forever. Clean a little glue up. But I thought when I was going through stuff, I have these little deer, and they wound up here at the shop in with our little doodads and stuff, but I've had them for forever. When I was about 10, 11, one Easter, my mom made I still have the it's kind of a rounded bowl, but she made a terrarium for me, and it had these little plants in it and little rocks, and so I still have the terrarium. It's been used for all kinds of things. But then I saved these little deer. This little deer family was in it. And so I've never been able to actually put it into something that we were going to sell. I really was inspired to do a jar for myself, but I have some really cool jars, again, packed up. So I thought, well, just for fun for this year, I found this little silver plate, little saucer. And so I thought, I can always do this temporarily. I don't have a lot of room for decor this year. And so I thought, well, this will be something kind of fun. So these little trees are a little bit different. Hang on, and I will show you. Get this one glued down. Again, I just picked them up somewhere along the way. So they're just a little bit of a different type of tree, and they've got like a burlap, a little more me, a little more of the real rustic. They feel like they belong out in the forest, even though that's kind of silly because they have burlap around them. But I guess I'm thinking like you went out and dug it up. And so I'm just going to glue that down. And then I think I'm going to tuck the daddy deer. Do deer stay together as a family? I know the mom and the baby kind of stick together. I don't know if the daddies hang out or not. Miss Elizabeth would probably know. She knows a lot about deer. So I'm just going to stand him in by that first tree. And then I have a second tree. Oh, I don't think I got him in quite tight enough. So hang on. Got this grand plan. Now, if you really wanted this to be super permanent on something open like this, you might want to use like an epoxy or something. This hot glue doesn't seem like it's wanting to stick really well to this, so I'm just hoping that getting everything in here. Don't think bucks do. Well, he's a good daddy. He's staying with his family here. I'm just going to tuck another tree in. So he's kind of just hanging out between the trees. And then Mama. But once you get the gears turning, you know, you don't have to limit it to a jar. But you also equally can, you know. Okay. So we got all the family in place there. I think I'm going to go ahead, just because I think it'll help with the fact that the deer aren't wanting to stay very well. I'm just going to put a little bit of, I'm just squeezing a little bit of all-purpose glue kind of on the thing around where the trees and the deer are. And then I'm just going to kind of brush that around a little bit just to kind of, another little, just a little base of adhesive in there. And I think I'm going to, I think I'm going to start out with a base of the rock salt first. I don't think it really matters. And then I think I'm going to squeeze a little more glue on top of that. And I'm probably not going to spread it around. I just want to have a pretty good coating, just because I don't want those deer to be constantly, I mean, it's just going to sit on a shelf, but, and then I have a bunch of this mica snow, faux snow. So I'm just going to kind of, so it's not going to all stick, but we'll have kind of a layer in there that'll kind of stick. And I think some of it is naturally kind of falling on their backs. I think I'm just going to, because again, this is just regular glue. I can always wash it off if I decide I want to do something different. I'm going to put a little glue so that it'll stay on their backs. So there's a little deer family hanging out on a cute little thing. And I don't know. I don't know if I want to add anything more to it or not. It feels kind of the little pine cone thing. You know what else I have are got these other little, they're just little, they're not very long. They're about as long as my finger, and they've got a thing on each, berry on each end. But I just don't know. It feels like it needs a little color, but nothing really feels right. So I'm just going to leave it for now, and if something comes to me, I might come back and do something, but just using the same little things. And now I have a little decoration for me. But you can use, I mean, use your imagination. Don't feel like you have to go and buy special jars. We've all got jars stashed. These latch type jars. I thought about doing another one, but I was trying to decide. I've got this Reliance coffee jar. So I was thinking about just putting a single tree inside with a bunch of snow. But I was trying to decide between that or I have this ball jar, which is skinnier, which I almost like because the tree kind of fills the jar even more. What do you think? That one? Or this one? You can see it's got a little more space in there. A little more dead space. What do we think, guys? Skinnier jar. I mean, I have a lid for this one. This one has a I'm kind of sad because somebody painted it. I mean, it's green, so that's cool, but it's an old lid, but they painted it. So this one's almost a little like the tree actually touches the top. So I'm not sure if that one's even a good fit. Yeah, that's got a little wiggle room still with the lid. Diane says ball jar. Well, I think ball jar is the winner because the tree will get smashed in that one. So again, hot glue on the bottom of the tree and then go straight down in there. And I don't think I'm going to try to mess with glue on this one because I feel like that would be kind of crazy down in there. So I think I'm just going to pour, 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 pour. Sprinkle some of the glittery stuff on top. Easy peasy. So that's the clear side. Great thing about it being just the tree is if you want to have that ball logo sticking out, you can, or you can spin it around. Either way. I think for this one, I want to use a couple of these rusty keys. And I'm almost wondering about, I've got this broke off of a garland, and you know, of course, nothing gets wasted around here. You can tuck that in, use it somehow. So I saved it, but I'm almost thinking about maybe, how do I do this? I almost feel like I need maybe some twine. Well, what has everyone been up to today? I have been here, like I said, doing a lot of ADD type crafting all day, bouncing around from one project to the next, and fairly productive in the process. I still have a lot of projects that need wrapping up, but it's been a fairly productive day. I probably should have focused my energy on some other things. Don't know if I like that. So I think we're just going to go with the, what I was doing, I was trying to tie this in with the twine, but it's not, it just doesn't look like it belongs. I think it's just, we're just going to focus on the simple tree inside. How odd. This, it's interesting. I just was noticing this jar, the ball logo is there. So theoretically that should be the front, but the lid attachment is, I feel like it should be this way, not this way. Now the twine is hanging right in the way. Oh, what to do, what to do. Not liking that. Maybe it just needs simple tied around. Does anybody have snow yet where you're at? It's just been rain here, and then it switched gears and we got the sun, but it's really cold now. This morning was extra cold. So I looked at my calendar today, and we are going to do, starting next Monday, we are going to do a Christmas craft every day, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I will be here at 6 o'clock each night doing either something you can make as a little gift or an ornament. We'll come up with all kinds of fun stuff. Oh my goodness, I tell you, I got glitter up my nose. It's driving me nuts. Oh, I think somebody is coming. I hear little footsteps. I hear big footsteps. I thought I heard little footsteps. Diane, painting some crates for grandkids and painted letter of their names black, decorating with metallic gold stars. Well, how fun! Is that going to be their gift, or are you going to be filling stuff into it for them? Is that going to be like their library bin or toy bin, or I'm not sure how your grandkids, I think, are a little older now, aren't they? Okay, I don't like this. I don't like this. I think I'm just going to go with, I don't know, what do you think? I tied multiple, but I'm not sure. I'm just really feeling like this needs to be super simple. News is I will use that twine on something else. All right, so I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna put the keys on it. Crates will be filled, and they can fill them with water. 8+ years. Oh, fun. I am on a, I don't know if everyone heard my rant a few months ago, but I heard this statistic that like 80, what was it? 80 some percent, 80, maybe it was more than that, some ridiculous number of our toys are not from here. And I was just horrified. And so I'm on a very, what am I trying to say? Anti-imported toys campaign this year. So I'm trying to, I'm actually leaning a lot more towards, more traditional things or out of the box things or activities. I have Gabriel, who's into, he has a snake, And so I've gotten him a reptile subscription to a reptile magazine for a couple of years. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do that or not. Science kits. Oh, I like that. Very fun. Yeah, I'm all about stuff that has more substance to it. All right, so this is where I landed. Just a little bit. I'm not 100% with how the twine came out, but I'm just going to leave it. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I've learned to just leave it and set it aside. And sometimes I come back and I'm okay. And other times I come back and I go, oh, I know what it needs. So just a simple single tree. Easily peasily. I'm trying to decide what to do with these little, I'm almost thinking about this one that I did that's just a stand-up one. I'm almost thinking about, I had it sitting here and I was like, how cute is that? So I was thinking about just gluing the car or the truck. All right, which one do you think? So there's the truck on it. And there's the car on it. Blue truck or the red car? Or not at all? Oh, the keys, yep. I love rusty keys. I love the authentic ones, the ones that I find every now and then. I'll find somebody that has an old can that they're all just rusty and yucky. Red car it is. I have created my own rusty ones before, but I think the authentic, I always like the authentic patinas the best. All right, so I think that little guy is done. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. So I have that little skier guy that I showed you that I found and fixed his broken ski. My hot cider is no longer hot. It is now cold. It's not quite as tasty. I think he might be too big. Yep. He's going to have to go into, I'm kind of thinking about this jar. I only have one this size that I can find, so I guess we have to decide. I also have this cute little Santa. He's a skier too. So we could do Santa, or we could just do the guy. I don't think they'll both fit. I think that's about the only tree I have that's the right size for, whoops. Yeah, that one's shorter. And then look at these little deals I found. I haven't figured out where I'm going to use these yet, but Hobby Lobby is a dangerous place to be, let me tell you, especially when cute little Christmas stuff is like 50% off. So little tiny little wreaths. I haven't figured out where I'm gonna those actually might be cute on one of these. Maybe it might be too much. Get the trees inside. But if we did it with, you know, I wonder if you couldn't, it's kind of big, kind of feels out of proportion. I'll find something. I'll find a place for it. All right, the skier guy. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards him. We'll do something fun. I think I see Santa going in some sort of little, like a little tray or something. Do some sort of little snowy scene with some trees. So get this tree in here, and this tree doesn't have a lot of flocking on it, so I'm definitely gonna adding to that. And then we'll get this guy in. Tiny little skis. Something I have never done. I don't like the idea of flying down a hill really fast. And I always thought I would be more suited to cross-country skiing, and until I saw or realized how exertive that is. And I was like, well, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm cut out for that or not. I don't think any of my other little people fit in there. I don't know. I don't know if I have anything else. Just snow, you think? You could probably fit, let me look at these trees, because these look similar in style and color. I mean, I guess a forest doesn't all match, so I could put another little tree. I'm not sure if possibly a third one. What do you think of that? Hiking is better. Yeah, I've gone a little bit. I don't. Joe can't hike, and so he never wants to go. Katie and I went a little bit, and I didn't really last summer. I didn't really tag along with them much, but I'm kind of hoping Willow comes back, and I think it'll be more of a ongoing family thing. So maybe I'll get in a few. I don't know that I'm as adventurous as you, but I'll go on the easy ones. I kind of like it with 3. What do you think? It kind of feels like he's making his way through there. And then, but I don't know, some of even the more adventurous hikes they have taken, the pictures of the scenery, Heather Lake, and there's another lake out here I think they went to. Just like, oh my goodness. I know one of them was a little more of an arduous hike, but the kids did it, so them little guys did it. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll try. We'll see. Okay, so we got those guys in there. Oh, yay. I'm glad you agreed. Okay, I'm not going to go as deep because I don't want to totally bury him, which I kind of am hiding his skis a little bit. But you can kind of situate it so the snow kind of comes up behind him. I like that one. See, the problem is now I want to keep all these. Little delay in you getting, yeah. Oh, Facebook. Somebody was saying earlier today that it was doing all kinds of wonky stuff this morning, I guess. Things were not doing what they were supposed to do. Oh, here we go. All right, so now comes the $6 million question. Anyway, yeah, Facebook is, well, I guess that's not really Facebook. That's just technology. Things lag sometimes. Okay, so that's all done inside, but I think it definitely needs, I've got colored twine. I'm just not a super, I'm not sure that, especially this one since it's latching, I'm not sure that I want to seal this one all up. I almost think maybe, I don't know, maybe some bells. Not sure what to do with this one. Colorful twine. I've got like a red and a white. Yeah, I did that because his skis were getting buried, and so it kind of piled it up and it kind of stayed. I kind of like it. One of those accident, oh boy, a big old glue string. Oh, sad. Just flicked all the snow off the tree. Got carried away. I'm not sure what to do with the outside. How to embellish this one. Not sure what it needs. The twine seems too minute. Lots of trees. I don't know. Thinking about just maybe cut it a little long so I have some room to work. Maybe we'll just run it through here. And tie it. And yep, I think it's definitely got to be the bells. Could do the keys again, but maybe we'll. I don't know why they make these so tiny. Like, what are you supposed to get through there? Maybe a little wire. This twine is going to be a challenge without pulling all the strands apart. Oh, a flannel strip. That would be cute. Yeah, because if I did it thin enough, it would just give it a little bit of color without totally interfering with the jar. Well, for now, we just opted for just a thin little with a couple bells. I don't know if I like placement, maybe around front. I almost wonder about hanging a little tag or something that says, I don't know. That's kind of fun though. Let's think about the flannel. I just put the flannel back away. So I probably have some that's long enough that it could go all the way around that. So I got a bunch of these little I don't know what these guys are doing. He looks like he's building a snowman, except he's got like a shovel in his hand. So I'm not sure what that's all about. And then this little kid is pulling a wagon. And they're just walking. She's just walking. These would be cute to maybe to pair with the snowman. Just kind of standing there with the snowman. I'm not sure how well that would work in this tiny little jar. So what do we do already? Snowman and the tree in that one. Do you want to do more or do you want to be done? I gotta get these done. I don't know if I'm gonna do them all tonight, but tomorrow night we are going to be making pies, and they're all too tall. We are making pies, and then so I won't be able to go live tomorrow night. And then Thanksgiving. And then Friday night we have our live sale. See, I was laying in bed last night thinking, oh my goodness, it's like just boom, 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 boom. Because Saturday is Small Saturday, and then it's just the next weekend is tree lighting and stuff going on here in town, and we've got another workshop, and it just go, 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 go. And I'm like, I can just hang on for the next few weeks, get to Christmas, and then I can have a break. Yes, I will be back on Monday. So I looked at my calendar, and so that's the plan. I will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I will be here at 6 o'clock, and I will have more Christmassy goodness, and I've got a few more things up my sleeve, and we'll just keep on creating. So I think I'm going to, I've got a huge mess here, and I haven't been to the grocery store yet. I have to make pies tomorrow night and get up and make dressing Thursday morning, and I have not been to the grocery store for one single thing. And I realized tomorrow morning before I open the store is like literally the only opportunity. So I have to get up at the crack of dawn and zip out to the grocery store, get all my stuff, thankfully we have a fridge here in the back in the garage, and so I can just leave everything here and too much stuff. So I probably should get this stuff wrapped up for tonight and then call it a night and get ready to get going first thing in the morning. Thank you, Diane. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's like fun. And you have some great ideas. I'm like, I get stuck and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do here. I love hanging out with my fellow crafty people. Have a beautiful evening, and if I don't see you sooner, I will see you Monday night. All right. All you take care, and we'll talk soon. Bye.